living here is not what it seems. Ship of white, light in the sky. Nobody there to reason why. Here I am, I'm not really there. Smiling faces ever so rare. Let's walk in deepest space. Living here just isn't the place. Sparks of light come from the ground. When I cry, there isn't a sound. All my feelings cannot be held. I'm happy in my new strange world. Shades of green, grasses twine. Girls drinking plasma wine. I look at love, a dream unfolds. Living here, you'll never grow old.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte The Pharaoh, seen here out of Tin Mirror Studios, Kings Park, Long Island. And on the other side is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh. Jimmy, how are you, buddy?
I am excellent tonight. I'm actually very close to being perfect.
Wow, you are pretty
Very close.
That's a really good setup. How long did it take you to come up with that, brother?
I thought of it on the fly like I do everything else in my life. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I just want to cover two things before we get to our main guest, right, which I'm very excited to have on. First is probably the most important. So on social media, dude, like, I don't know if you noticed, but they have these, like, commercials where people put their feet in, like, this, like, tub, and then they pull their feet out. It's got, like, all this fungus on it, and, like, they pry it off. I guess it's, like, a detoxifier. Right? And
this
I'm
is what
like,
you see, huh?
Well,
okay.
You have to see it if you're on social media. There's commercials like nonstop, right?
Wow.
But they got like these like monstrosities on them, like hairies, like your body detoxifies in your feet, and then you got to like scrape all the garbage off. So I'm like, keep thinking to myself, is this real? Like, because it like detoxifies your like gallbladder and your liver and all that stuff. So, because I actually thought about getting it, right? Because I'm like, man, it just to have like things grow on your feet from using.
What is this, like Ajax for your pipes? Oh, your inner pipes? What are we talking here?
I don't know, but anyway, the internet says it's fake, so I just wanted to share that with everybody.
What did you almost waste on such said item?
I didn't get that far, man. I was this close though, because it's Christmas, right? I was like, if anyone needs a detoxifier, it's me, right?
Okay.
I mean, considering our guest doesn't even realize that I had put us on for this show for yesterday. Thank God you called me and told me, because I'm like, oh my God.
Look, I don't even know if thank God is involved here, because by the time I saw it, it's 9:30, and this was like slated for 5:30 my time, 6:30 or whatever it was. I'm like, there's a whole chat here going on. This is hours after that I discovered it. That's why when I called you, I was like, you okay? Is everything okay?
I'm just an idiot. All right, so some serious stuff, and I want to get to the guest, right? Jurors are deadlocked in the Daniel Penny manslaughter trial over the subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely. Jurors at Daniel Penny's trial is caught on camera subway chokehold death. It's basically, the whole deal with the Marine on the subway. Some guy was threatening a whole bunch of people, and I guess he was acting weird or whatever else, and this Marine put him in a chokehold, and unfortunately, this other gentleman passed away, and now this former Marine is really upheld on, count one murder charges, right? And I'm shocked. I really am shocked that the jurors are deadlocked. Like, I thought this was like, let this guy go, ridiculous.
There's only one thing I want to have cleared up from my end before I give a full opinion on this. Did this person announce someone is going to die today, or did he state, I don't care if I live or die today? Which one is it? Because I've read two different accounts. I could be getting typical opinionated news from two different situations. What did this guy say out loud? Was it one or the other? That someone's going to die today, or that I don't care if I live or die while he's having a rant session?
You know what? I do not see that kind of information, so I would be telling an untruth
Right.
if I said anything else.
If the Marine felt that everybody was in danger, now I got to be honest. I looked at the size of the. Isn't this a Michael Jackson impersonator on top of it? The one that was the victim, alleged victim here. He didn't look like.
Well, let me interrupt you real quick.
They're
saying the prosecutor stressed that no witness testified that Neely threatened anyone specifically. So I guess he was threatening, but no one specifically, right?
Well, you know, if you say a blanket statement, for example, like someone's going to die today, well, guess what? You don't have to turn around and go, and by the way, it's you and you and you. Okay, I would take that as a general threat, which would, if I'm a Marine, make me say to myself, how can I subdue this guy? All right. That's why I asked, what exactly did he say? Because if he said something as general as someone's going to die today, I don't care if you're having a bad day. All right. I don't know your history. I don't know whether you have a history of illness. And at this point, if I'm witnessing it and I'm such said Marine, I don't think I really care.
Well, he's being charged with recklessly using a chokehold for 6 minutes.
If you look at the situation, and if he did say someone's going to die today, the situation, here's the facts to me from what I can tell. If this is what he said, the Marine held him for 6 minutes in the chokehold. Enough time for every single person to safely get off that train. And can I please leave it at that? Because I don't know the severity of how much he was choking him, or if he was allowing him to breathe and then he would struggle and continue the choke. I don't have those full details. But it seems to me like if someone makes a general statement that someone's going to die today, and you have the training to subdue the person until everyone is safely off the train, then I agree with what you said. This was something that he needed to do to make sure everybody else's life was safe. You don't know if this guy's packing. You don't know if this guy's got a knife. You don't know what he has. You don't know his history. You just know that some guy came on the train and stated, everyone's going to die today, or I don't care who lives or dies. That's general. That endangers every single person sitting on that train. So if that was the case, everybody got off the train safely. To me, he kept everybody safe.
Well, with that, let me introduce our special guest, Mr. Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I enjoy this conversation you guys are having. It's other than your ugly feet or whatever you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, Joe. Well, first of all, let's start off here. Do you want to be called Joe, or would you like to be called Curtis?
Joe. My name's Joe.
So, Joe, have you seen those videos with people putting their feet in the tub and they pull it out? It's got like hair on it and they like peel it off.
Picture your ass like putting your feet in the tub, and it just grosses me out.
I'm with him.
Joe,
yeah, Mike.
Joe, on a serious note with this Marine, what are your thoughts on that deal?
Dude, to be honest, I'm probably not far behind you, but like, I don't think like you're bringing up your grungy feet, so you have to have an issue with your feet.
No. My feet are actually good, but if you saw the video, Joe, they pull their feet out and it's got like hair and like tree bark coming out of it. I'm like, oh shit! How cool would it be to put your your feet in this tub and to have hair on it when it comes out? You're like, whoa, cool, hairy feet.
Tree bark. Hey.
Oh, man, dude's feet they're all suck. They all suck.
Holy caveman.
Joe, on a serious note, on the Marine talk, what are your thoughts on this whole issue?
I agree with I just met you guys just now, and I agree, like you have to stand up if someone threatens a population.
Yeah.
You know, and if someone like, especially like military form, like, and they know what to do when they get in those circumstances, they immediately react and protect the the citizens. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with what you said about no matter what happens, you have to restrain this guy. And who knows what else he was on or whatever. Like, people don't know. We don't know the whole deal really yet, but I think it was the right decision, because I would, if I saw that on a subway or whatever, train, whatever, I would do the same thing. If someone said that, I would totally restrain them and make sure that everyone on the all the passengers or whatever were protected. That's my view.
Let me go a little deeper with you on this. Do you think in today's society, everybody is an armchair quarterback at this point? So it's like, if you did something, you're wrong, and if you didn't do something, you're wrong, and no one knows what to do anymore. And then let's add on to it, what are your feelings about people who sit there and watch these atrocities and put it on their phone and post it on social media?
That's horrible. Like, if you're a man and you see crap going down the streets and you just videotape it, that's a coward. You can't. So if I'm walking down one way and I see something happen down the other way across the street, and I see like a domestic or someone hitting a girl or doing something bad to people, I'm gonna step in and just separate it. But I don't think that's if people record it and sit there, you're just doing that for your social media followers to get involved, and doesn't make any sense to me. It pisses me off, actually.
Right. It removes the whole organic human compound. It becomes something where I can use a machine to my own gain. Oh, look at me. Look what I filmed. Check me out. Watch my channel. Yeah, no thanks.
And they get their crap posted on social media, and then get their followers, and then what, to run away and
right.
Live? It's stupid. It's cowardice. Like, you can't see a victim on the street and not protect them, but you want to videotape them? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
So, Mike, is he going to be forced to deal with now a lesser charge of some sort to appease the other side that just wants to, judge him before, any true details are looked at, Mike? I mean, what's the situation? What happens now?
That's a great question, Jimmy. They're trying to downgrade the charges. It's almost like a situation where they feel like he has to be punished. He can't be let go free. There has to be some sort of punishment rendered.
Didn't they just do something like that? They gave him some.
I read something where it said that he could wind up with 4 years. The maximum is 15 years for what he's being charged with. And to appease, I feel like it's an appeasement situation. The jury is deadlocked. Okay, so this should be a mistrial, unless I missed something here. And if I did, someone correct me. But it's now turning out that they're going to go with a lesser charge scenario, which of course frustrates the defendant. It's like, what do you mean I have to go to jail at all?
I think the bigger problem I have here, guys, is that his peers are deadlocked on this. To me, there's nothing to be deadlocked on. And that is the trouble I'm having with this whole thing. Right?
I agree with that, too. No, I do agree with that. It's just like we're all saying, when someone makes a general threat, you have to subdue that person, especially if you have the skill like Joe mentioned, period. And that's where I'm at on it, guys.
Thank you. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yep. This is the world we live in, Well, why don't we switch gears? Could we switch gears a little bit? Because every week,
Joe thought he was on a wrestling podcast.
Yeah. Wait a minute, and he is on a wrestling podcast. But every week, Mike comes up. He comes up with these stories, and it just gets me going crazy. But I think he does that on purpose because it always has a positive effect.
Because there's more important stuff in life than wrestling, right?
Well, this is true.
We've got stars like Joe on the other end, and obviously he's had a great career, and he comes from this iconic family. But I kind of want to know what Joe thinks about life. But anyway, It's your show. You're the star. Go ahead, Jimmy. You're on.
Jeez. I don't know if I've been put over or under right there, Joe, but either way, obviously you are part of a very small group of great wrestling family royalties, obviously growing up. Is wrestling what you wanted ever since you were a kid? And if so, what did your parents want for you?
That's a good question. Like, like growing up, I used to go to all these AWA shows and all that kind of stuff, and watching my dad and being in the crowd. My dad was like, when my dad turned like, I'll make a long story short, but like my dad turned heel, he was going against Hulk Hogan, and he was the bad guy, and I'm in the crowd like 8 years old, and my dad came down. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, Dad, let's go, let's get him, like whatever. Like everyone's booing him, like what the hell's going on here? Like I'm looking, the Hulk comes on, like boo, my friends are boo. I'm like, everyone's cheering, and then like he beat my dad, whatever. But like, so it started kind of around there. Well, like actually started when my dad won the AWA championship. And then I started really getting into it, and then all this stuff with WWE, and then it just kind of clicked on me, because my dad always told me, get a college degree, go to school, whatever you got to do, and then you can go train, because I really want to train. This started like when I was a late bloomer, so puberty happened late, and my junior year, I just started kicking ass. My dad's like, I'm like, Dad, let me go train. Sorry for swearing. But he said, okay, well, there's a camp going to start up with Brad Rangan's. It's in Hamel, Minnesota. So I was just preparing for that. I'm like just training, whatever doing. And then senior happened. He's like, I went to college. He's like, college, whatever. And then I got my college degree. I was ready to go. And he's like, okay, next time Brad's camp comes up, you can go. So I was ready to go. And then a couple months later, my dad passed away. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck. Sorry. I apologize for swearing.
Oh, you're all clear on swearing. I wouldn't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. That's fine. That's fine.
You're not even coming close to getting anywhere near some of the things that fly out of our mouths. You're fine. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Like, I'll start there then. I'll just throw F-bombs, okay?
Okay.
So my dad passed away, and I had no place to go. And then Brad Rangan's contacted me and said, oh, there's a camp. I went to camp there. Couple years, it was just get my butt kicked or whatever. Brock would show up, and Ken Anderson, all these guys, like it was really good, like, but I never had a match. And then Brad's camp closed down, so I didn't have no place to go. And then I talked to Brock Lesnar, because he helped me train too, and I asked him, what the heck do I got to do now? Like, do I go to OVW, or do I go to Harley's camp, Harley race? And he's like, go to OVW, they're going to pay you and all kind of stuff. He said, just talk to Vince or Shane. So my dad got inducted in 2007. So I had to make a decision there. And I didn't see Vince, but I saw Shane. I said, what do I got to do? And he said, go to Harley's. I said, well, I'm not going to get paid. And he said, don't worry. Like, we'll keep an eye on you. I said, okay. So I just told Harley, because he's my grandpa's best friend, So I went to Harley's for a year. And this is a funny story. I was going to the gym one night, probably towards the end of my year there. I text some guy that was selling $5 DVDs, like Bret Hart, because I just studied. I just studied and watched film and all that kind of stuff. I was broke. I was making $50. My rent was $6 a month, living in a crap town in Eldon, Missouri. And I worked my ass off. And I just watched DVDs over DVDs. Like, there was nothing else to do. So I asked this dude, like, hey, do you have those DVDs for sale still? And I texted an accident to Shane McMahon. And I was like, oh, crap. And I sat in my truck, I'm waiting, no reply. And then I was going to the gym, work out, come out. I get 2 texts from Shane McMahon going, yeah, bro, I'll be up for a while. What do you want to talk about? Oh, God. So I'm like, so I just call him like, hey, man, Mr. McMahon, I'm so sorry. Like, I was texting this other brother, like, trying to get DVDs from him because he's moving out. He said, first of all, don't call me Mr. McMahon. Like, your dad's one of my brothers, you know? So, like, I'm looking out for you. I said, well, I've been doing okay, like, working my ass off, getting shocked in the ass by Harley with a shotgun, like a legit fucking
What?
shocker taser, you know.
This is part of wrestling training. Very interesting. Okay.
We're doing 500 squats, and Harley just be like, cigarette, ass, and he like whatever. Yeah, bro. Like, Shane's like, hey, dude, we've been checking on you. Like, you're good. So I just kept on working, kept on studying. I got my first child, like, in the bank at that point.
Right.
And 2 weeks later, I get a call from WWE going, hey, we want you for a tryout. So I went down to FCW in Florida, Tampa, and they tried to kill me. Like, they brought Sheamus and Drew in the ring, said, go ahead. Let's go ahead. And boom, boom. I did everything I did. And they brought me in the main ring with Jack Swagger, who's a champion. And they said, you just go do 10 minutes, son. Dusty's doing this. Dusty, do 10 minutes, son. Let's see what you got. I said, okay. We went 12. And Swagger's like, holy crap, this guy knows what he's doing. And Dusty's like, okay, we'll sign you up, boy. Like, it's just crazy how all, but I always knew, like, from my junior year, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew I could do it. I knew I wouldn't be phased, and that's where I am. Like, that's how everything got started with FCW.
Joe, I got a really important question though. Listening to this great story, what kind of rap do you have being broke dick and being able to hook up? Like, how did you hook up with your wife then? Like, isn't she like, I ain't hooking up with you, dude. You got no fucking money. I'm out of here. How did you make that work? Like, what kind of rap do you got?
Jesus Christ, this guy, what the hell? Like, so I was. You want the story? So this is the story of how I hooked up on my wife. My dad died in 2003. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a joke.
Yeah.
My dad died in 2003, and I was depleted. I didn't have nothing. Like, I didn't care about nothing. And, like, I just wanted to support my family and all. So my friends pried me out. Just go out. Let's go hang out. So finally I went to B-Dubs, and I knew my wife. I knew her. And then we sat down at a B-Dubs with my buddies, and I'm like, just whatever. You know, I didn't care. Like, I'm just gonna hang out. And all of a sudden, my future wife, shows up, and she sat down because I knew her, and then they all left. So we just started talking, and then just reminiscing about stuff. And then she's actually the most important person in my life. She brought me back. So being a pervert, like not pervert, but like, I'm like, hey, just, you want to go hang out in my place, whatever. She's like, no, there's a party, we're here. We went to the party, and like, come back to my house. And I went back to my house and hung out, and like, she said, can you bring me home? I'm like, nope. And then she stayed. But then after that, we hung out more and more and more. So it's not like something weird like that happened, but it's just a mutual love. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have that love for each other now. Like, I've been together with her for 20 years, and like, we have that mutual respect and mutual love, and got 3 beautiful boys, and like, it just happened. Like, I found someone in my life that really makes me happy.
Good stuff,
Best
man.
kind of love.
That is
Best kind of
stuff.
Love. Yep.
Joe, coming off the movie The Iron Claw, right, with the Von Erichs, obviously the Hennig family also is this iconic family. How tough was it for you to grow up? Let's not talk about your father right now, but let's talk about your grandfather, the great Larry the Axe Hennig. What kind of father was he to your father, and what kind of grandfather was he to you?
Well, I'll answer the first one. So for my grandfather to be a father to my dad was awesome. They did everything together. You know what I'm saying? They worked out, and my dad taught him a lot about the business. I really don't know exactly what they did, but I know he succeeded through my grandfather's help. For my personal experience with my grandfather, I'd call him every dang day I got off the road. So I'd fly in every Tuesday. So the first thing I did was contact my grandfather, because there were some funny remarks, and like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that, do this. And or like, most of it was praise, you know what I'm saying? But growing up with that kind of stuff was it's cool, because like, he helped my dad so much, and my dad kind of took over control. And then when my dad passed, I really reached out to my grandpa. Dude, today, 6 years ago, he passed away. Today.
Mm.
And I miss those talks. Nobody in the industry will ever know what it's like to have a mentor that's gone.
And you've had two, man, and we feel you, and we certainly understand.
Joe, if I can say, you are a very, very blessed man. My last grandparent left in 1990, and I'm trying to even begin to process your story. You're a very blessed man.
No, bro, like, that's the thing. Like, the Hennig name will live on forever. Like, we're all tough nailed and all kind of stuff. I got 3 boys up here. One just walked in the room, just 7th grade, just nailed it and pinned the dude at JV at 7th grade. Like, I'm so proud of all this kind of crap that's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff is, I'm blessed. I'm super blessed with all the stuff I have. I got 3 boys. So all the stuff that my grandpa and my father taught me and all kind of stuff, I want to pass on. But in the meantime, I'm going to be the stronger one and kill it. Like, this is not dead yet. It's not dead.
It certainly shouldn't be, man. It certainly shouldn't be. You're still a young man, and you got a lot of time left. So I agree. And let's not forget about all the accomplishments you've already accomplished within the industry. You know, between your grandfather, your father, and yourself, you've got quite the resume. Quite the resume. I got to ask you this, though, on the lighter side, right? Let's put you in high school, right? And your father is known for this great Mr. Perfect character with these fantastic vignettes where he's totally perfect at everything he does.
They were awesome.
And here comes poor Joe. He's on the football team. I mean, does the coach say, okay, Joe, throw the ball down the field and go run and catch it? Like, what kind of pressure was it for being the son of Mr. Perfect growing up? I mean, it had to be hard.
Enormous.
No.
Wow.
Dude, I actually did that throw and pass catch.
Did you really?
Yes. You think I'm some kind of lazy ass athlete?
What the hell's no, sir?
No, not at all.
But I didn't realize you were practicing that play. Where were you doing it? On the high school field?
I don't need practice. I did it.
He just does it.
And are you going to tell me, too, you bowl 300 every time you're bowling?
Yes.
Absolutely perfect.
Unbelievable. I love it.
Dude,
I love it.
I did the throw pass catch, like, and they didn't believe it.
Oh my God.
No
You
doubt.
see, now back in the day, they could have had somebody standing there videotaping it. What the frick?
Right.
We're right
Love
back
it.
to that again.
I love it.
You know, Joe, you mentioned earlier, obviously, the training and Brad, and then winding up with Harley, and Harley's giving you nicotine shocks up the anus and all of this stuff. But honestly, though, breaking in, and yeah, it sounds like the first day was a brutal day. But did any of the boys give you a hard time? Any of them behind the scenes that you would care to talk about? Was there anybody that was like, yeah, so what? So you're the son of Mr. Perfect and the grandson of Larry the Axe? You know, was there anybody that was giving you a hard time?
Hold on a second. I didn't even hear the last question, but like nicotine shots in the anus?
Well, you said you said that you're trying to do squat thrust, and Harley's there with a cigarette. You know, I mean, it doesn't sound like it's
It was a
shock. In like a fucking shocker.
Oh, he's using a shocker. I pictured him with a beer can and a butt lighting, like, you know, sticking the lit end up your ass or something. I'm sorry. It's my bad. I digress.
If that ever happened to me, I would not be on this podcast.
Oh, the shock thing was okay in comparison.
Could you imagine the dirt sheets on that, Jimmy? Curtis Axel reveals that cigarettes would put up his ass during training. Could you imagine that?
Well, I don't know. The taser doesn't sound much better, Mike. I mean, it doesn't, to be very honest. Seriously, though, Joe, did anybody give you a hard time considering your family's history?
What's up?
Anybody give you a hard time when you were breaking in, like, for real behind the scenes? And I mean, it sounded like your first day of training was brutal when they made you go through that. But was there anyone behind the scenes that was like, yeah, so what? Or gave you a hard time? Because we know that there's people out there in the business that are not always so kind to others. So I'm just asking, anybody bust your balls?
Dude, to be honest, not really. I think they honestly respected like my hard work and whatever I put through, and they knew what I was going through, and like, or just like my training wise, like you name me Michael McGillicuddy, and like so like people like, no, I've never had a. If I could think of anything, any person that gave me a hard time, I really can't think of any because I just did my own thing, man. Like there wasn't really nobody. Nobody gave me a hard time.
Did the name Mike McGillicuddy make you go WTF to yourself?
What the hell do you think?
I'm thinking what you're probably about to say. What or maybe I should just say it. What the fuck? What was that all about? I mean, did you ask them? I mean, like, well, why this name?
Dude, we can do another hour podcast with all this whole conversation.
I gotcha. I
Dude,
gotcha.
I was pissed off.
Yeah, you should have been. I completely agree with that.
Well, I think the question should be though, could we at least ask you like who's the agent or who's the guy that says, you know what, Joe? Mike McGillicuddy.
Oh God.
That's your name. Like who's coming up with that one?
Was it Vince?
This story all day long.
Mm.
You want to know how that started?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was #1 prospect getting brought up to WWE from FCW. #1. I was a champion. Everyone's good.
Yep.
Then they put me on NXT. Then they named me Michael McGillicuddy. And Dr. Tom Pritchard, who's a very good friend of mine, and like he helped me so much. Him and Norman, but they thought it was a rib. Husky Harris, Michael McGillicuddy, and then this other douchebag like Lucky McCannon, whatever. But Dr. Tom told me, he's like, it's just a rib, like they're just playing with you. So I went with it. And then, dude, NXT in my era was a disaster. Like they would do crap to us to make us look like crap. It was a shame. It was shame on all of us. All of us that worked hard, like Bray, Husky Harris, all these guys worked their asses off to, like, let's go. I want to get to I want to get to the WWE main roster. I want to do this so bad, but they shit on us bad. And when I found out that Kofi Kingston, I was at home. Kofi Kingston was on TV, and he said, "Here's my pro, son of Mr. Perfect, Michael McGillicuddy." I'm like, fuck this bullshit. I lost my mind, but I just went with it. So I went through it because I have a family. I went through it, and I argued, and all that kind of stuff. And I just kept going through. I just kept on performing to myself, like to the people that I could go either babyface or heel, either way, whatever. I did everything I could. So finally, I lost my mind. I said, dude, I'm done. So that's when Curtis Axel evolved. Do you want to hear that story?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's a great name. It's a great name. It's when everything changes. I definitely want to hear it.
So I'm so fat, like everyone's putting me over, going, damn, you look good. You're turning up babyface, heel, all this kind of stuff. Over and over and over again. Whether I'm on main event or I'm doing house shows, all this kind of crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting put over. Like the office puts me over, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, we got to figure out what to do with you, whatever. It's kind of obvious what you got to do with me, but I had to prove myself. So finally, I was in the airport one day, and I saw Paul Heyman, and I'm pissed. Like, just what the hell's going on? Like, I'm working my ass off for this. I got this name, I got the ability, I got everything going for me, everything, my body, everything. So I saw Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's always plugged me really huge. So I sat next to him, like, how you doing, sir? He said, dude, you've been nailing it. I said, yeah. I said, what the heck? What do we got to do? Like, can I be a Paul Heyman guy? Change my name? Can I do that? Because you're off TV. Brock's gone. Brock is gone. You are not on TV anymore. You need a Paul Heyman guy. So I just yelled at him about it. I just bitched at him about it. He said, well, there's a story where your dad was becoming face from to heel, and then he wanted to call himself Curtis Mayhem. And like we plugged it and all that kind of stuff, and like it never happened, but because Paul Heyman worked with WWE or AWA at the time, but it never happened. He just became cool Kurt Hennig as a heel in AWA. So then,
Right.
what do we just call you Curtis Mayhem? I said, hell yeah, let's go. So me and Paul Heyman collaborated. But usually what I do backstage is I'd walk around with a cup of coffee, waiting for a Superstars match that's not televised or get my ass kicked or whatever. I just walk around. Kansas City comes, and all of a sudden, everyone catering's like, congratulations, Joe, congratulations. I said, what? I didn't do nothing. Like, what are you talking about? So all of a sudden, Michael Hayes comes down. He's like, Vince wants to see you. I walk in the office, and I'm like, hello, sir. Like, what's up? He's like, hey, I got a great idea for you. And I know what's going to happen, you know? And he's like, you know, you've been doing really good, kid, like all this kind of stuff. We're going to make you a champion. And we want to make you a Paul Heyman guy. And all of a sudden they send Paul Heyman through the door. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, like, this is my whole idea. Like, okay. He's like, by the way, you got to open a segment promo with Triple H, and then you're facing Triple H in the main event tonight. I'm like, well, bro, I don't have no new gear. I have no new nothing. Like, what am I doing? So I had to just gun it.
Joe,
How
did
do
they
we get
want? Go ahead, Jim.
How do we get from Mayhem to Axel, though?
No, because he didn't want, like, Vince didn't want Mayhem. He thought Curtis was my dad's name, and then Axe is my dad's name.
Right.
So or Grandpa's name. So Curtis
Right.
make more sense. That's his explanation.
That's Vince's input into it. You know what, Mike? It sounds like when Gene Simmons back in the day with Kiss would like change one word to the instead of though, and he would go, "Okay, songwriting credit."
No, but like the question I have though, Jimmy and Joe, is like they wanted to recognize you as his son, but they never really got you that close. I mean, at any point did they want you to dress like him at all, or did they want to keep you separated from that Kurt Hennig Mr. Perfect gimmick?
No, they never wanted me to they never wanted me to dress like him, and like I had asked to do the Perfect Plex, but I didn't care. Like, I didn't really care. I just did the neck flip, and then the Perfect Plex. I didn't care. And so like they never said anything about that, but it's just sad, like, how you don't recognize the lineage that's there. And like, everything I was doing in developmental was quote perfect, but when I got to the road, they just kind of blocked me out.
Well, let me bring you into that, though, about recognizing the lineage. The first time I ever saw you was the induction of your father in the WWE Hall of Fame, which you, by the way, was an incredible speech by you. Can you bring us what you were going through in your mind at that point? You know, you knew what you were up against. Can you share with us what was going through Joe Hennig's mind as he's about to give this speech about his great father?
I mean, I don't know what the hell you want me to talk about because it's basically obvious. What else would I say?
What I'm saying is, in your mind, right? You're going to talk in front of this giant audience. Obviously, your father's this incredible figure. You're not really in wrestling at this point, or at least known at this point. Are you nervous? Like, obviously, you're nervous, but it's like,
What are you talking about? I never talked about anything like that.
when you did the Hall of Fame speech, introducing your father, right? You did speak during that, correct?
Speech. I didn't do it. I didn't do a Hall of Fame speech.
I thought you spoke during his induction. I
No.
apologize if I'm wrong. I could have sworn that back in the day I saw you say something about your father. You stood up on the podium and said something.
No, in WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
No. It was my mother.
It was your mom. Okay. I could have sworn it was you, Joe. I apologize. Because I remember seeing you. I'm like, look at the size of like his son. He's huge.
He's already
Well,
well on his way.
I can like if you want questions about that kind of stuff, like I'll answer that. But I wanted to speak. Like me and my sisters both did. I got two sisters and a younger brother.
Right.
And like we wanted to speak, but like I didn't speak at that because I wanted to make that my mom's moment. Like
Sure.
I didn't speak at the 2007 Hall of Fame, whatever.
I apologize for that. I could have sworn. I'd have to look back then. I apologize. So sorry for that misinformation, that hard question. I do apologize.
What was your Joe? What was your feeling watching Bray's career, and how Bray's career turned out, and your feelings on Bray's passing? Is he with us, Michael?
I don't know. I think
I'm here.
Okay.
Just take me back, man. Hold on. Okay. So me and Bray got brought up at the same time at NXT to jump John Cena. And we saw each other at the airport. What the hell are you doing here? What are you doing here? And then we became a Nexus and jumped John Cena. And then we ended up doing a bunch of stuff, which is really was a lot of fun. Rode together. He's like my best friend. His daughter, one of his daughters, is my goddaughter.
Okay.
Oh, that's how close we are.
Okay.
But like after years went on, whatever, and like he got sent down to NXT, and I think I told you this already. He went down to NXT, and they kept me in WWE still on the road, and he revamped himself to Bray Wyatt, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't know if he had any grudge against me because I stayed. They kept me and left him there, but he made the best. Like that was the best decision for him because he was green, and he was not ready to be on the main roster yet. And like not Husky Harris and all that kind of crap. He made himself Bray Wyatt, and the way he did things, the way he thinks is so awesome, man. It was so cool to just listen to him. Like I can't remember the question, but like the remembrance of that I have of Bray Windham, it just traveling down the road 100 miles an hour, like whatever, like we just go in the hotel room, like holy shit, it's hot in here. God dang it. I'm like, what the heck? Okay. So I'd throw my clothes in and go in bed. He'd go in the bathroom, whatever. And he'd be coming out of nowhere in his underwear going, hog pile, and just splash me. Like, what? But he was funny like that. Like, we had so many jokes that we played on each other. Like, I'm not gonna tell you the ones I played on him, but like it was so much fun that with him, he was such a fun-loving guy, and he's severely missed. Like, and I know his family. I know Bo. Like, I was tag partners with him too. Like, my dad. Here's a funny story. So my grandfather and Blackjack Mulligan were tag partners. My dad and Mike Rotunda were partners, and I've tagged with both Bo and Wyndham. So it's like 3 generations of tag teams. Like, it's pretty crazy. But Wyndham is the most genuine, heartfelt person. Like, he would buy me stuff like from Buc-ee's or whatever, like just buy me random things. Like, but he was a super genuine good dude, and it really sucks that he's not around. And I don't know what else you want me to say about him, but he was a money boy in the locker room, man. He was a joy to be around.
That's a good.
Were you amazed at his creativity? Because obviously, when he goes in and reinvents himself, he reinvents himself more than once. And how is he as a person to be able to convince Vince McMahon, who's usually the guy with the ideas, and if he's not with the ideas, he's going to tweak it like he did in your case, calling you Axel. It's a small tweak, but Vince usually likes to have, pretty much control, from what I could tell, on how someone's going to be presented. How is Bray able to be so brilliant and yet still be able to convince McMahon, let me do these outlandish, outside of the box thinking ideas that made Bray Wyatt the legend that he is today? How was he able to do that?
I think he got a lot of stuff that he was brilliant with his ideas, 100%. And I think some of his ideas, I don't know for sure, but I know he was frustrated, but I think some of his ideas got shoved because he everything he's ever done's been gold. Like every just, I don't know if people think it's wacky or whatever, but like it draws, like whatever he did, like whenever he left and when we separated and he became Bray Wyatt, his creativity just exploded. And that's the reason he got the Wyatt family, and that's how the reason it was. But he had so many more ideas, and I don't know behind the scenes what happened and whatever, but I think his creativity got kind of blocked because nobody could make sense of it. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
But dude, this guy could also, like, he found out how to work really good, get over really good, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, he's that good. Like, I don't even want to talk about him like that as my friend, like my best friend. And like, but he's always, like, even outside, like swimming in the pool with the kids and all that kind of stuff. We just laugh and like the giggles and all, whatever. Like, that was the most important thing. Like, having like his kids, my kids, and all that kind of stuff. We're just swimming in the pool. Like, dude, there was a time. I don't even know if I should bring this up, but I will. But there's a time, like, he had baby shower for his youngest girl, like getting ready to be born. But we're just a bunch of wrestlers just hanging out in the pool at a hotel or apartment. Mandatory Jagger shots, and he just starts like dumping it on his body and like asses off, like, oh my god! But like that was Wyndham, and he come in the locker room, dude. He was a joy, a super positive energy joy when he walked in the locker room every single time. Like every time Wyndham walked in that WWE locker room, everyone's like, "Oh man!" And we just laugh. Like it was so much fun, man. That's the kind of person he was. He was full of joy, full of happiness, full of positivity, and he's missed, dude. Bad.
Joe,
By millions.
Joe,
By million.
Joe, I want to bring you back to the day that your father died. I know we spoke about it earlier. Obviously, the love that you have for your father and your grandfather is immense. Can I ask you, as a human being, though, and as a son, was part of you angry at your father for what happened?
Don't ever fucking ask me that question again.
I apologize. I was just asking you how you felt.
How
That's all.
the fuck would I be angry?
Well, I was thinking that you missed your father so much, right? That you're just mad that he's not with you anymore. That's all.
Well, yeah, I'm mad he's not with me. You asked me about his death. Don't ask me about how he died.
No, I wasn't asking how he died, and I apologize if I came across that way. I was just asking you, obviously, the emotions that you went through, the love that you had for your father and your grandfather, and like what it felt that day. We covered it a little earlier, and I just, it wasn't like that kind of question.
How do you think I would fucking feel, bro? If I fucking come up the stairs in the afternoon and I see two police officers in my front foyer in my parents' house, and my mom and one of my sisters crying, right, saying your dad was found dead in Florida.
Right. I understand. I certainly understand.
I couldn't even begin to comprehend that, Joe.
No, not at all. Not
to
at
be
all.
To be very honest, the only I think what Mike is trying to get at, though, is that it is such a shame that he was so young, and to just
such an iconic figure.
Your feelings on it have been made very clear, and we respect them 1,000%.
Yeah.
If I can move on to
how do you feel about your dad dying?
No. I guess I said the question wrong to you, Joe. So that's not what I meant. I meant that, when you think about it, how because your career, you went on to have this great career, and it's just I guess what I wanted to say was like. Now I don't know exactly how I wanted to say it to you, because maybe I said it the wrong way, so I apologize for that. That's not what I meant. I just meant to say, like...
Do you think I was angry my dad died?
No, not angry. Like, do you wish... Obviously, you wish he was with you, without a doubt. And I guess the question would have been like...
How he passed?
I don't want to know how he passed. That's not what I'm trying. Hold on, Jimmy. I'm not. I want to get this clear with Joe, because I'm trying not. I didn't want to offend him. That's not what I was trying to do here. I was trying to convey to you, I guess, like, just kind of get your feelings. Obviously, it's a terrible day in your life, right? And like, I guess I just wanted you to convey your feelings, because we started with that, and obviously you were upset over it for sure. And I just wanted to see, like, have you convey your feelings about that day.
This is the worst day of my life.
I can relate.
And Joe,
sadly enough,
Joe,
when my father left too,
we appreciate your honesty on some of these questions.
Yep.
Dude, I just told you, like, how would you like if you walk upstairs and see police officers saying, I didn't know what's going on. And then you see your siblings in the living room crying, saying your dad's dead in Florida. That sucks. That's the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I
don't. Go ahead.
Can I ask you, how did that affect your grandfather? Obviously, it was terrible for him too. Did you guys ever discuss that? And like, how'd your grandfather handle it?
Questions, man. Like, what the fuck? How do you think, man? It's his son. It's his son.
Yeah. And then you reached out to your grandfather for advice after that, as you previously mentioned.
But
you know, thankfully you had your grandfather to talk to. Thank God.
Grandfather after that, he had to go to me. Like, he patched like he wasn't the same. Like, do you guys have kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost one at the age of 24.
Jimmy, if I could share this with Joe, right? So Joe, my mother died, right? And my daughter didn't get a lot of time with my mother. And I always think, like, I wish she was here so she could see her grandmother.
But like, so
I guess that's what I was trying to relate with you on that, like, because I got, obviously we were talking before the show and how proud you are of your son. He won his wrestling match today, which is great. And it's like I was kind of trying to connect with you, like I think about that all the time, like how I wish my daughter would know my grandmother. You know what I mean?
Okay, like preface it like that, like that's fine. Like I get it. I understand your question of where you're going and all that kind of stuff. Preface that kind of stuff, like, because like, yeah, my grandfather was devastated, and like I had to be the man of the house and all that kind of stuff. And like now, like I look back, like as a dad with 3 boys, I got to look back and like just make sure I'm present, like be there for my boys and make sure they're good. And I couldn't, like, and it's in the back of my mind sometimes where it's like, God dang, if I were to pass, how are these guys going to hang on? Like, I just want to make sure they're okay and all that kind of stuff. Because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, because I think about that kind of stuff. Like do your kids communicate with you like, Dad, are you okay? That type of stuff, right? Because it's clear, Joe, that you know, right? Does that communicate? Like, my daughter will ask me, like, I miss my mom. I miss my mom every day, right? It's tough, just like everybody else. I get it. I'm no different than you or anybody else. I just wanted to like get that feeling, like what goes on in your life. Is it the same type of situation?
No, bro. Like my kids are they go to Catholic school, and we've found a lot. Like, I don't know if you guys want to believe it or not, whatever, but I do, and I found a new outlet where I can go to my kids' church with them, and I can just hang out and like
nice.
And they like that kind of stuff, and like my kid, like, it's just you got to just find something where you have a blessing in life, where you can have your kids do this, whatever, do whatever they want, but there's no negativity, but they always believe in like that kind of stuff, and then they talk about Papa Perfect and Papa Axe and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's really important. Like, our family's been strong for a long time. So I don't know.
I mean, do you think Christ has helped you get through a lot of all this stuff?
Yeah.
Amen. Right there with you on that. Right there with you. I know the hair may throw you off, but I'm actually a former elder. There you go. There it is. There it is right there. Unfortunately, and Mike, look, I'm not looking to defend the line of questioning, nor do I misunderstand his very real response to your question.
There's nothing wrong with his response. It's
not at all.
Obviously.
But all I wanted to say was Joe, thanks to the freaking internet over the years, whether it's your father, whether it's Eddie Guerrero, whether it's whoever it may be, and all their early, untimely, unfortunate demises are different. But thanks to the internet, they throw in that they all were doing roids and they were all doing this and they were all doing that. And to me, that's where possibly could you have been angry? That's the only thing that I would, that's me thinking about the question. Thanks to the damn internet, they throw all these names into the same pond. And it's the drugs and the steroids and stuff like that. And because your father passed away so young.
You're right.
That's
right.
all I'm saying.
Okay, that's right, because I know there's inaccurate reports how my daddy actually passed away.
There we go.
I think that it was a joke gone wrong. Honestly, in my opinion, I've talked to many people, and people play ribs, but I didn't grow up with drugs in the house. I didn't grow up with that.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
So,
right.
I think it's a bad joke gone wrong. That's my opinion.
More than fair enough, and I appreciate your being very real with us.
Well,
again,
the show also, obviously his father's an iconic figure, but the interviews with Joe Hennig, right? And I want to know about Joe Hennig, right?
Absolutely.
I unfortunately will never have the availability to speak to a Kurt Hennig, but I'm speaking to his son, and I understand his reaction to my question. All right, but again, these aren't questions to be disrespectful to you, Joe. I'm just trying to understand the feelings inside. I mean, look, man, you're a WWE superstar, and I'll let you speak. I apologize, but you're a WWE superstar. You're obviously a great father, a great son, a great grandson. I just want to know the emotional value into it, right? Because in life, all we are is people, right? Obviously. And that's the point. It wasn't a cheap shot. It's trying to know you as a person. Obviously, you love your father and it upset you. That wasn't where I was going. It was, and it's just like, you when I say mad, I mean, you just want things differently. Like, I wish they would have been different. I wish I could have done something different. I wish they would have done something different. I don't know.
What's the question?
There isn't a question. I'm just explaining. I'm just trying to explain the show. Listen, we could just be like, hey, man.
Let's switch. Let's time out on the field. Let's switch over to something else at the end.
Wait a minute. I still have another question, Jimmy, and I got to ask the question. I'm sorry.
Well,
I have to.
Mine on the other page, but go ahead.
Now, Joe, I'm going to ask a question. All you have to do is say, I'm not answering it. You don't have to yell at me, okay?
Leave the room? We might throw something. I'm out of here.
No, this is a serious question.
Okay. I'm ready.
Joe, are you ready?
Joe, ready.
You, bro, I'm sorry.
Listen, don't yell. Don't get mad. Just say I don't want to answer. But I want to ask you a question in regards to Vince McMahon. Obviously, you worked under Vince McMahon, who I'm a huge fan of, and Jimmy is also. We know the allegations against Vince McMahon. What are your feelings about what's happening to today's society and these particular type of allegations that are made against said people, especially Vince McMahon?
I have no clue what's going on.
I'm not asking you if it's going on. I just want you to know your feelings on it. That's all.
My feelings on it?
Yeah.
I got this kind of stuff because, like, all those 50 wrestlers got laid off, and I was one of them.
Right.
So that pisses me off.
Right.
But I don't know what's going on with him. I don't care. I really don't have two shit to give. But I have no clue. I don't pay attention to it. I don't care. He can go do whatever he's wanting to do, but no,
Joe, do you still watch wrestling since you've been out of it, like out of the WWE? Like, do you say that's it? I'm not watching WWE anymore. Or do you still check in?
Oh, I still watch.
There we go,
dude. I was a producer up there.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you about that producing. So, how do you become a producer? Like, how does that call made? Like, because I guess, how does that happen?
because you have a mind frame that can control like and know wrestling. That's how you become it.
But who decides like, hey, I'd like to have you come in and be an agent or a producer?
There's several, like a couple people, but yeah, like when I did that, that was interesting. But like I think I got brought in. Jason Jordan,
Okay.
like the head producer.
Okay.
So
We're talking like 2022 or so, right? Couple years back, just a few years back.
Oh, no timeline. Yeah, probably like
Yeah.
that.
I got you. Why don't we talk about
Well,
something
can I
else
get?
at
Can
the
he
internet?
finish? Hold on. Can he at least explain to me what happened? Like how he's
Well,
become a producer, and
Jules Jordan said you want to be a producer. He said, "Yeah, right, Joe."
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I did, and I was
And
actually,
then I did.
I was actually really.
Why only 3, Joe? Why only 3 months? What made you part from that position?
No, I didn't. So like the allegations with Vince and Johnny.
Oh.
So I was only part time at the time. So they just sent me back like, hey, we can't afford like just chill back home, and just never got brought back up. That's
I got you. Oh boy. All righty. So there's your answer, Mike. Oi. Something else that the internet loves to talk about. So maybe you could tell us if this is true or not. You know, when you come up, you get into the Nexus. The Nexus is looking pretty damn good at the time. I remember. I'm like, okay, the Nexus could be the next big faction. Is it true that John Cena, like in one full swoop, ruined the Nexus?
I don't know that for a fact, but I've heard rumors. I wasn't a part of the initial Nexus,
Right.
so I got brought up with Bray later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. According to like Ryback, I think Cena kind of dismantled it, but I've never had any issues with Cena or whatever. But I don't know this. I don't know that story.
Fair enough.
Joe,
Fair enough.
what's the issue with Conan? I sometimes catch Conan's podcasts, and you came up. I didn't even get that whole thing. What do you know what the issue was there, or is that like a non-issue at all?
Conan?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
This dude like said I was not entertaining, or I don't even know what he said. He just tweeted out like I was not entertaining, I was boring and whatever, and not over or whatever. And like I tweeted him back saying, "Did you blow yourself up writing in that tweet? Because I know yourself up wrestling my dad. You've never been shit." So me and him got into it for a second, but that was years ago. But he's a piece of shit. I don't care about him,
Fuck him.
dude. He fuck the fat slob, man. Like he would never work good matches. You ever see him in a heavyweight match?
Orale! I give up. No, I wasn't a big fan. I'm being honest. I was not a big fan of Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talked shit to me, but like I said, dude, so I sent him I don't even know. I sent him something with my IC title and then my hand like this, like, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah. 155 days. 155 days of what's up, as a matter of fact. Wow, what a nerd I am, Mike. Oh my God. I actually think I named the amount of days he held the Intercontinental title. I am a nerd. Speaking of controversial figures, as of course the internet and in real life, he's proven that CM Punk has had a lot of conflicts over the years, whether it's with Vince or what happened when he went to AEW. And I'm a huge Punk guy. I've always been a fan of CM Punk. What's your relationship with Punk? And does CM Punk, Joe, does CM Punk get a bad rap? Because I personally kind of back him on a lot of the things and decisions he's made in his career.
He does get a bad rap. He helped me out a lot. Like a lot. I'm friends with him. Like he's helped me, and like I've been boys with him. We've done battles, bad battles, like just hardcore all over the world. And he's been nothing but help for me. And I know where people can say that he has a bad reputation because of his attitude and all that kind of stuff, but like you kind of gotta have that with this industry, like you have to have that just don't give a hell about whatever and just go and just do you have to have that, or those if you don't have your self-confidence and just being like, hey, I'm better than you, like then you're gonna fail. And Punk has always had that, and I have nothing but respect for him, honestly, because he's helped me, and I would love to fight him again. We've had some battles, and we're Heyman guys, so weird, what's going on. So there's something stirring in the water, like.
Wait a minute, are you trying to say, Joe, there may be a WWE return for Curtis Axel?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too, man.
I like that.
I
Shush.
like
That works.
too.
That works.
A Paul Heyman guy for life, dude.
Oh, love Paul. Oi.
Well, Joe, you've been more than entertaining, and we really appreciate the interview on a Friday night. I'm sure you could be doing a million other things than being with these two old men. Again, I want to thank you again for taking the time out with us, and thank you for us as fans and for wrestling fans and for entertaining us for all these years. We really do appreciate it.
Dude, I appreciate you having me on here, man. Like it's controversial. Some kind of stuff is like controversial, but like I'll let you know what's going on. Like and I'm happy to do this kind of stuff all the time. Like I look forward to it.
Well, I hope you'd be willing to come back on maybe for a second time. And again, I hope we didn't come. Well, I'll put my partner on. I hope I didn't come across offensive. The questions were just, I wanted to know the person, right? A lot of respect for you and respect for your family for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you know where I stand now, like all that kind of stuff. And I'll get back on here with you boys. And like, I look forward to it. And it's a good way for me to get myself back out there and have the audience see like that I'm ready to get back, and you never know what's gonna happen, dude. So,
well, I gotta tell you,
you look great.
You scared me.
You look great.
You even scared me through the computer. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's gonna fucking kill me. Jesus Christ.
Joe, we would like to officially thank you for not canceling us mid-interview. We appreciate you. Oh my God. Good Lord.
I'll do that, dude.
Joe, God bless. And again, thank you again. Incredible interview. Thank you for your utmost honesty. And you know what? You're the man, former Intercontinental Champion, which is, for us WWE guys, is a big deal. And if you come back as a Heyman guy, dude, I would love
my
it.
God.
One last question, Joe. I got to ask you. Larry, huge guy, right? Jimmy and I growing up, Kurt came in as an enhancement talent for the early WWE
way in the
days,
beginning.
right?
I remember.
So again, he was like Eddie Gilbert, right? Kind of skinny-ish, got his ass kicked. I mean, that's the way it always worked.
Wait a minute, skinny? I'm skinny.
Well, hold on. Give me a second, right? Hennig goes to the AWA, he becomes AWA champion, looks fucking awesome, comes to WWE, has the iconic Mr. Perfect physique, incredible talent. You, Joe, also physique, incredible talent. Can I ask you, was there any enhancement going on for you?
What do you mean?
Like, is it all natural? Are you all natural?
Hell yeah, bro.
Nice.
You think I'm...
Listen, I'm not saying anything. I am asking a question. I am asking a question. Are you all natural? You're just answering it.
Hell yeah. I would never touch stuff, man. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
I don't suggest any any of that kind of crap on anybody. Like, don't do that kind of crap.
So now,
if you're a wrestler and all that kind of stuff, you want to look big and all that kind of stuff, just work out. You don't need this crap because it's going to hurt your heart. It's going to hurt your body and all that kind of stuff. So you don't need any of that. I've never taken anything, and like, there's nothing like that.
so what did you weigh in high school, dude? Like, what was your weight?
Bro, I wrestled my sophomore year, amateur wrestling, at 134. And then I quit because my coach said, you're like your dad. You're not Mr. Perfect, and you're not going to be good. So I said,
Wait a minute, hold on. He said to you, you're not Mr. Perfect. He actually said that to you?
So my dad got in there and like, so I said, don't, I'm just done. I'm not doing this. So I quit wrestling, quit football, quit, baseball. And then I developed my own softball league, which is huge in Minnesota.
Nice.
And I just started like, by the time I was a junior, senior, I'm hitting bombs over monster walls, like at 210, like just boom, like all that, like, and like my coach is like, hey, come play back and be a tight end or something like that. Like, F you, like, I'm done. Like, watch me go. So like I wrestled. It's 134 my sophomore year, and then by the time I graduated, I was like probably 220.
Damn. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, weird. And like
Sprouted.
But your grandfather was a fucking monster, dude. That guy was a monster.
He was big. Yeah, he's big.
Well, like that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. Like my boy's like, he's like late bloomer, I think too. So he's a machine. He just wrestled JV tonight and won. So I'm super pumped up. I can't wait to talk to him right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to allow you to talk to him again. The great Joe Hennig. Joe, thank you again for the opportunity to have a chance on Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. And do me a favor, just don't come over to New York and kill me, all right? Thank you, buddy.
I'm not going to.
God bless you and your family.
If you do come to New York, can I play softball with you? I love softball. Anyway.
Jimmy, send us out, bud.
You've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes. Later.